So we got a tattoo. I got it under a bunch of us got it under my underwear.
I thought a slightly more appropriate place would be the arm.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. I got under the underwear.
Come on.
There we go.
There it is.
You getting that?
All right, fine, I'll show him. Tattoos, Joe or Will can go first. I think.
Joe and Will. I have a tattoo on my soul from this experience.
And maybe by the time of this coming out, you might have it tattooed on
I might need to go somewhere with Will Poulter.
Joe and I made a commitment that we are yet to sort of immortalise, and we plan to,
We
I
didn't
think.
know if we were going to stay in touch. Do you know what I mean? I had no idea that I'd still
That's not true.
like
That's
really like actually.
Us three have got it.
Yeah.
Us three have got it.
I've got it. Yeah, it's a song in the beginning of the film when it opens up. You know, you see us chilling around there. We got a call on me, a little cheesy metaphor that we can all call on each other. Serious note, that's the same song that it became a tradition for these guys. Before they would leave, they would watch this music video. So that became a little tradition with us too. Somebody would play it right in the morning, and it would hype us up.
Alpha 2, we might have guys starting to move on our position.
Copy, we're getting a buildup of activity here too.
Yeah, I definitely see weapons at this point.
Yeah, we have definite massing.
I remember reading the script, and it's unlike anything I've ever read before. More of a transcript based off of Ray's memory, along with the other servicemen that were in the platoon. There was an intensive process with Ray and Alex, and they met with everybody individually.
I was very lucky enough to play somebody who's the director, co-directing and co-writing it. He was very open in discussing us and a lot of experiences he had throughout his military career. I just got to know the guy, really, as much as he wanted to share, because I know it was a very sensitive topic for him to bring out there. I mean, there's a lot of pressure, to get it right. Ray's a very stoic guy. I heard especially from a lot of the veterans who were there that day that he just kind of turned everything off and just went on autopilot.
We have severely wounded.
Who's severely wounded?
It's not you.
It's me. Who is it?
No, it's not you.
When you're playing people that have endured such extraordinary circumstances, there's a sensitivity that you can't really apply to any other context on a film set. These men live the consequences of what happened on this afternoon. And so there was a level of reverence and a discipline. We were all there in service of Ray, who was there in service of his friend.
Because these men that we were playing were and are very humble and often don't like to talk about the real details of what they did. One of the things that I found the most beneficial was talking to some of the other men that were there, because they would give you a really interesting perspective. Like my character that I was playing, there are a lot of things that he regrets not doing necessarily. So
And the subjective nature of memory, just chiming in, this idea that different people remembered things differently. Ray would, from his recounting of what happened, it would be in direct contrast with someone else's to an extent. So that was quite an interesting exercise.
how's it going?
Going well.
That's that new guy energy.
We went bowling on the first weekend. My nickname on the thing was Funkle, but it never stuck.
It didn't stick.
No one called me Funkle, everyone's just like, Joe.
Yeah.
Because he's not really that fun or an uncle, so just Joe felt more appropriate.
Just
Kids
an
was
average Joe.
Babyface.
Mine was Babyface.
Yeah.
Babyface.
Explains itself.
DP, Baby Ray, Dozer.
You nicknamed yourself Top.
So originally we called Charles Romeo.
Romeo,
Because he's a bit of a romantic.
Yeah.
He's very
That was a
handsome.
problem on radio because you might legitimately say Romeo in place of R.
right.
So
You're right, exactly.
we couldn't do that.
So he
then-
decided, hey, can you call me Top?
This is my dad's.
Yeah.
And his dad's name in the military was Tom, so it felt apt. And you earned it.
Yeah.
Willie P was Daddy, obviously.
We were walking back from a curry house.
Yes.
And we were all not drunk even a drop. We were just high on life. And I can't remember who said it, but someone was just like, oh, what if we started calling Will Daddy? And we had this great idea of like, oh, we can call him Daddy in front of Alex and Ray, and they'll hate that, and it's going to be great.
They loved it.
And then for some reason, everyone loved it, and it stuck.
It stuck.
It's mainly because like my main role was like reminding lads when laundry day was and
Right,
things
right,
like
right.
that. You know, it's like, get in the car, we're going now. The boot camp ran for about 3.5 weeks, and the boot camp was kind of a condensed sort of simulation of what's known as BUDS, which is basic underwater demolition SEAL training. Naturally, as a group of actors, we were only kind of learning to sort of simulate as much as possible what these SEALs learn over the course of several years. So there was only so much we were going to be able to sort of realistically achieve. More than anything else, it required us to spend so much time with each other, pushing ourselves like further than many of us had ever been, both physically and emotionally. And that process and going through that together was very, very unifying. We fell back not just on our training and the skill set that we developed, but also those friendships and those bonds when it came to, you know, performing on screen.
Here's the plan. EA 5 minutes, over.
The scouts are gonna lead us out, and I'm bringing up the rear. Pop smoke. Smoke out. We are all coming back.
Right off the bat, Ray came up to Joe, Will, and I and kind of established leadership based off of our roles. You know, it held us accountable with all the guys throughout the whole process, not just the responsibility to the story, but to each other. And it really was a methodology that informed the process when it came to filming. The language, the military, the SEAL language is very alien, and we communicated like that throughout the whole experience. We all got watches. We would show up to set, and whether it was Will or Joe, sometimes me, you know, Will's like, all right, it's 06:12. Food opens up at 06:30, be done by 0700, get through, you know, the rigs and hair and makeup by 07:30, and we're gonna depart for the marquee at 07:45 in order to start blocking on set at 08:15. Like, it was very regimented.
I'd catch myself sometimes sort of remembering how unorthodox that is for a film set, because, you know, we'd have a task or a challenge, and Will would be working out what to do, and then I would kind of go, oh, well, maybe we should do this, and Will would go, I just need, like, just give me like 2 minutes of like quiet, and I'd immediately go like, oh, yes, sir. And then I think I would sort of stop myself and go, wow, on a normal film set that would be really strange. It always felt like everyone was an equal on the set. The leadership aspect really just gave us a support system.
When we would do these intense scenes that lasted anywhere from 10 minutes to 15 minutes, like, there was just like this, we were so tight with each other that it just helped everything.
It really bled into the culture. And Alex was very clear about, if we were to try and pull this film off in the amount of shooting days that we had very little time to wait around. And so the culture that we established in the boot camp bled into the shooting days, where Will many times would be calling out the shot. There's a hierarchy in film sets anyway, there just is. And so I think there was clarity and precision, and everyone knew what was going on. And it, I mean, saved a lot of time. Whilst there was, as Kit mentioned, a quality and a lot of care there, it was brilliant having a spearhead through it all.
I thought it was beautiful that the production very much kind of, in a sense, separated themselves from us. If I wanted to know what scene we were going to do next, I asked Will. It kind of kept us in this group together still. Right, like I would have to ask permission for Will to use the washroom. I mean, he was going to let me anyways, but you know, but we do that.
I hope I never said no.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Where are you guys?
Look for the blood and the smoke.
Multiple bad guys trying to get to our position.
Inbound! Inbound! Find cover downstairs!
Joe said something really like beautiful earlier, which was like, you never really felt like you were doing anything alone. You're a teammate before you're an individual.
Right.
And like in any given moment, if a guy stepped away, you would be required to like give a head count of who else was there. And you should be aware of the fact that you're not like an entire company if someone has stepped away. Like, and that just kind of spoke to the level of awareness and consciousness that we had for each other and what we were going through the experience.
I think the best example of our, our trust with each other, our learning process was when we had our little experiment with the stretcher.
Yes.
This simulation stretcher where we had to go out in the field and rescue one of our people. That was right, if I'm not mistaken, right near the end of our training boot camp. We just learned a bunch of military training and we got to use it. We had to walk very far, carrying somebody on a stretcher, and we took turns, not like, oh, I don't want to do it. No, like we, if our brother needed it, and some kid carries a jug of water on his shoulder, he would happily go and carry that too.
And it really bled into our work day. Just like the emotional, just like the crying and everything, the intensity of that trauma, that was on for days. Yeah. And those cameras, you have to be on because you never know if the camera's gonna catch you. And everyone was giving everything, every take. And it's tiring, it was exhausting, but we did it for each other. And I think that just really shows in the film.
When you see us talking communications with our, on our radios, that's the other actors. That's really Cowboy. That's really Evan. That's really Michael sitting on the other side watching. They were there every single day.
And Charles.
And Charles.
Charles was there a lot.
And Charles Melton.
Charles was working.
Who is wonderful.
No, but exactly though, the dedication that these guys brought. And I wasn't talking to a PA. I was talking to a real actor.
And you rarely want to talk to an actor more than a PA. Just want to be clear.
Yeah.
So that's
true, yeah.
It was a lovely culture to establish on a film set. So there was challenges, obviously, but I think the fact that we were able to establish this kind of collective accountability, and that's when doing this job it expands your consciousness and it expands your idea of life without trying to get too lofty, but you were very conscious of taking every day and being like, this is an amazing day. We were all very aware that this kind of experience doesn't happen all the time.
Right.
What were you how many
You said 82.
How many hours did we shoot in the first day?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think in the first day we were 2 days ahead of schedule. And I'm glad you mentioned that because you can't talk about that without giving the credit to the camera team who moved so incredibly quickly.
Yeah, they were their own unit in a way.
Right. They were in front of explosions, recoil coming, the shells coming out, hitting them all the time. Yeah, they were really in it.
You told me last night that in one day we shot 82 setups, which is a ridiculous amount for a film set.
Personally, we'll all take our own things away from this. I personally came out of it with some pretty strong opinions about conflict and war, and I'm sure we all did. But it was very specific.